But I'm sending love right back to you. How do I wave on here? Let's see. I'm going to love your comment. How about that? And it's just not working out for me. But I see you, and I'm sending love back to you. I love you so much. You're one of our top fans, so you know you get that specialness. You get that special love. So Happy New Year to you, Rashida. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that this year, I pray that this year is full of all that God wants to do in you and through you in this new year. She's here. Are you ready, Treasure? Let me know if you're ready, and I'll bring you on. Let me know when you're ready. So while she's preparing to tell me if she's ready, I want to let you guys know just how much of a phenomenal woman this woman is. She is a phenomenon. She is so groundbreaking. And since we did that live in November of last year now, I have just been still feasting on that conversation and just the motivation and the inspiration that Tresjure gave. I have just been in this space for so long, and I haven't been able to escape it because she's just so profound with everything that she does, and her advocacy for albinism and so much more. She just has this warmth about her. If someone asked me to describe Tresjure, I would just say she's warm. She just has this warmth about her that makes you feel at peace, and that just it takes away all of the worry and the fury and all that you would have. That's Tresjure. She has that, so that's why she's on here with us. Okay, you ready? Hey, Robin. Okay, I just sent you your invite. That's why she's on here with us right now, because for January, we're going to do many more of these talks, but for January, I saw fit that she needed to be the person who's on here with us for January, because she's just so beautiful. First of all, this hair is everything. The sunglasses is everything. I love it all. So Happy New Year, Tresjure.
Oh my gosh, Happy New Year's. I've been looking so forward to this conversation. So excited.
I got to. I am ready to get into it. Like I was saying, we need this inspiration. We need this talk. Going into this new year, we, not only as people with albinism, but just people who have been living through this pandemic overall, and just the effects that it has had on all of us. We need to feel motivated. We need to feel inspired. We need to be on our target with our purpose, doing what we need to do to continue in the greatness that we've all been called to do in our respective places and spaces, especially for those of us who, I think like you mentioned on the last time, when you have disabilities or handicaps, like our visual disabilities, for example, a lot of times you don't see a lot of resources or motivation or push out there for those of us who have those things going on with us. So this is just monumental for us to know, hey, we matter, and we can get out there and we can do it just like everybody else. It may take us a little bit of a time to do it, or we may have to do it a little bit differently,
right,
but we can still get it done. And you are just the quintessential person to be the poster child for this, if you will, because you're such an inspiration. And like I was saying when you got on, I have been feasting on what we discussed over the past few weeks, and even just sharing the content leading up to today. Just that whole feeling of like, yeah, I can do it. Tresjure, you don't know, but that's just how much of a motivational speaker you are. And I'm just looking forward to tonight, and everybody being blessed by it.
Yes. You know what? The last time we spoke, I was like, man, so there are people out there who just want to win.
Yes.
I want to win in my skin and mind your business.
Yes.
You just want to do you. Yes.
I love that. That's a t-shirt, Tresjure. I just want to win in my skin. That's a t-shirt. When you make it, I want one.
You know what? Girl, we could put it on a coffee cup, and it could be a collaboration. It could be a collaboration.
Eyeglasses, sunglasses, braids, necklaces, earrings.
Yeah.
Let's do it all. Let's do it all. Yes. Yes. I'm serious. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so y'all, I won't hold the time much longer. I know everybody has their respective things that they need to do. So we're going to do this thing as quickly as we can. But as you can see right now, me and Tresjure, I mean, it's like we're on the phone talking to each other.
Yeah,
That's just how it is. And it's not many people I can connect with like that, but she's one. So we can go for days and days.
absolutely.
But let's get into it. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, Tresjure, is what was life for you? What was life like in the beginning with albinism? Like, how was it for you growing up with albinism, as far as that was? So, like, let's go back to your childhood and let's just talk about that briefly, like what that was for you in that space.
Okay, I'm glad I went to therapy. I'm ready.
You said I'm glad I went to therapy.
Okay.
That's another T-shirt, but anyway, I'm not gonna say nothing else.
Yes. Okay. Well, it was very difficult. It was very difficult for me. I've said this before. In the African American community, from where I come from, on my end, it wasn't really accepted because it was met with harsh names, and harsh treatment, which eventually made me like really rough around the edges. Made me really rough because I always had to be like on the fence. You know what I mean? So for me, it wasn't the best experience, and because I experienced that type of treatment, I didn't really. When people would say, "Oh, you know, there's that girl with albinism," or they would say albino, but I prefer person with albinism because to me, my albinism, it is considered like a disability because I'm visually impaired. So for me, I don't like it when people would say albino, and it's also derogatory. It's almost like, you know, saying things you shouldn't be saying, you know? And so for me, it also made me like when people would say that there goes that albino girl or the girl with albinism, right? It would be, I don't have albinism, not me. What are you talking about? You know, like I don't have albinism. It's because behind the scenes I was dealing with a lot of stigmatism towards my vision. So it just made me pretend like I didn't have it because the stigma on it was like, if you have albinism, you're ugly. Or you're not beautiful. So it played a big part on my self-esteem for a very long time. For sure. For sure.
I can relate to that because like you said, so much of what you said, and that's one of the beautiful things about being in this space where we can all discuss this, because so many of us can relate to what you said. I too did not want to be seen as a person with albinism, as an albino, like you said, the word very much used in a very derogatory way, but I didn't want to have any type of identity with that, especially for me. It was within my teenage years, and it wasn't when I was like, I would say like 5, around the time I was aware of who I was. So I would say maybe around like 4 or 5 years old, 4 to like 11, 10, I was cool. But when I entered into my teen years, that's when everything started to matter. So with you, was it within your teen years as well when things started to matter, when you started to look at yourself and compare yourself to others, or was it as a child? So like what in that time frame was it for you? Like where was it?
I think I recognized it at a young age, but in my younger years, it was more like, oh, she's so cute, you know, look at Light Bright, look at Light Bright. You know, our families have nicknames for us, so it was like, look at Light Bright, you know, or like I said, more derogatory names than anything. But I would say in my teen years, I felt the peer pressures of like not having eyebrows that were visible, or like tan skin when everybody would go, you know, to the beach, or you know, just I would be really insecure about wearing shorts or skirts or something, because like, you know, I wanted my skin to like glow with a little bit of brown, and my family's black. So, you know, it was also like, you know, almost I would say like an identity crisis.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. Let's get to it.
That's, you hit it, because that's so true. I was like you said, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, cute, whatever. And people would say things, but it wasn't to the point where it started really affecting my identity until I did become a teenager. And like you said, wearing skirts or anything that I felt would reveal me more as being that ugly albino girl or anything of that nature just caused me to really be inward, especially in the summertime, like you said, when everybody's skin is glowing and you got that beautiful brown skin just flowing and glowing in the sunlight, and then here you are and you feel like you have nothing to contribute because
I'm more red.
Yeah, you're more red, no glow. You put your baby oil or anything on lotion and you don't feel like you're getting that same glow that you see your other peers or other women around you getting. So it can just really be negative, and it does a lot here. So you touched on identity crisis. So tying that into, like you said, at that time, being as a teenager, how frayed did your identity become because of the way that you were treated, because of the bullying, the stigma surrounding albinism? What did that do for your identity?
It just made me more confused because I am biracial, so I'm, half and half, literally. I'm half Caucasian and I'm half African American, and I've been blessed enough to see both worlds, both lifestyles, and they're completely different. For me, it was. So for me, it was like I had to be somebody half of the time, and then the other half had to be somebody else. I might do my hair curly. I might do some Afro puffs. I might do some curly puffs. I might wear braids more when I'm with my mother's side of the family, and then when I'm with dad, I might let it be curly, right? So it seems like I was a bit confused for quite some time because if you don't see anyone or know anyone or with albinism, despite your ethnic or cultural background, it can be quite confusing because no one looks like you. So no one can help you or try to help you because they don't know what you face, not only having albinism, but facing with the Black and white community. So it was a bit confusing for quite some time.
Now you touched on, because you're biracial, how was it on the white side of things, like your Caucasian side? How would you say treatment is as far as albinism on that side as compared to the African American side?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Well, with my Caucasian side, it wasn't a thing. Like, it's not a big thing. It's just like, we're family.